Hi guys, what we're going to talk about this week is what do you do when you've written your first screenplay? Sticking with the unofficial sponsors, I would like you to go and support Friday Fretworks. It's a YouTube channel. Chris Buck is a Welsh guitar player. I think he is amazing. His band Cardinal Black and Buck and Evans, I've bought Buck and Evans music online. I haven't bought Cardinal Black's album yet. But they're amazing and you should just go and buy his merch. Keep him in money so he keeps making stuff that makes me happy. Therefore, I'll keep making stuff that'll helps you. Back to the topic at hand. What do you do when you've sold your first screenplay? What do you do when you've sold your first screenplay? You've got to get it ready to sell first. You can't think, the end, done. I will sell it now. No. Reread it, proofread it, read it out loud. If you don't like hearing your own voice, get your computer to read it to you. Get friends to perform it for you. If you're too embarrassed to get your friends to perform it because you're insecure, everyone is when they first start writing, go to an amateur theatrical performance a couple of times. Get to know some people. Say, look, would you read just my script for me, perform it for me, invite them over, buy pizzas. It's all good fun. Once you see and hear your script being performed, you'll see the dead spots. You'll get actors getting, they'll give you feedback like, I couldn't understand the character. They're all over the place. If they don't know how to perform it, that's a problem with your script. You have to do this. It's a big thrill too, as a writer, to actually hear your words performed by people. Sometimes something that's easy to write is incredibly hard to say. So it's a great step. Once you've polished it, worked it, and it is the best it can possibly be, enter it into some competitions. Competitions are not going to move the needle in your career, right? They're not, no matter what they promise you. Unless it's something like the Nickel or the Austin Film Festival, like the big ones, they're important people. Important people go to those and they're important to your career. Winning the Nickel guarantees you will get work, you will get recognised, you'll get an agent. But these smaller ones, they're not going to get you anything. There's at any time, if you go to filmfreeway.com, there's about 800 competitions. And I see it on forums, people are like, I've just placed in the South Nevada film competition. South Nevada isn't a film town. So it's just some people in South Nevada that are interested in movies and have decided to have a competition. Placing in it just means you're better than the people that were in the rest of the South Nevada film competition. Just saying. Get your notes from those judges. Enter competitions that are free. That'll get you plenty of notes. And then once you get those notes, you can use those to improve your story. Where you are on your evolutionary path is also how you're going to reach out. We're taking it that you're at the very beginning, that this is the first screenplay you've written, maybe the second or the third, but it's very early on. You've had no success. You're not a screenwriter where studios ring you up and say, look, we want you to write this. You haven't got your connections, you haven't got a network. This is the kickoff point. This is the first screenplay. So some competitions. Once you think you've done well, perhaps then enter the big ones like the Nickel or the Austin. Those are some big comps. If you do well in those, people will get noticed. Even if you say I'm a quarter finalist in a Nickel, when you're talking to producers, they'll know. Even if they're a small-time producer, they know what the Nickel is. Next, host it somewhere. Copyright it, for sure, if you're going to put it out in the world. I myself, I can prove ownership. But if you feel safe, copyright it. Library of Congress, WGA, whatever mechanism is in your country for you to copyright it in your country. I would then personally put it on the net. A lot of people go, oh, no, it gets stolen. Well, there's other videos that say it's not going to get stolen. Quick recap, movie cost $1 million to make. They're only going to buy it off you for 20 grand. Why would they risk $980,000 to save 20 grand? They won't. They still have to give a writing credit to someone. May as well be you. So your work won't be stolen. Put it up on the net. I personally use Script Revolution as a hosting service. I have Griffiths Creative, which is my own site. From there, you can contact me, find out what I've written, find out what I'm working on, find out what's up for sale. And it's all hosted on Script Revolution. You may choose to use Inktip. The good thing about Script Revolution and Inktip is that producers in the bottom of the town where we are will go to these places, they'll search, they'll look for things. So make sure you know what your genre is. Make sure you can label it well. Make sure you've got a good log line. Make sure you've got a good synopsis. Make sure that everything is in place, that it's short and it's punchy and it grabs. Having trouble writing your log line, some people say you should write it before you write your movie. If you can't write your log line, it's not clear what your story is in your own mind. Or if it's not clear in your mind, it's clear in no one else's mind. The Valley was sold to Too Hot Films in the UK. It's gone through a few rewrites, through financiers asking for things. And one financier asked for a whole lot of changes. And one of the producers, Nicola, come to me and said, I don't want you to make those changes because the film will lose its heart. I didn't see it as having a lot of heart. I saw it as a person being pushed to change because without change, they were going to perish. They were a person that didn't engage with this new post-apocalyptic world, and finally they had to if they wanted to survive. That was me. I wrote that as a story about a person needing the change and resistant to change. And after people were sacrificing themselves for this person, all because this person never really changed, they realised the cost of reluctance was. That it was costing so many people for them to not change. So they finally made the change they had to make to live in the real world. Nicola, the producer, saw that as the heart of the story. She saw the sacrifice as heart. It couldn't be lost. I didn't see that. So my logline didn't have that in it. So you have to know what your story is about to write your logline. So write a good logline, finish your script, get it polished, get local performers, get it read out, get people to come and perform it for you. Perform it yourself. It doesn't matter. No one's ever going to see this or hear this. If actors perform it, they'll give you that feedback. They'll say to you, that's hard to say. That doesn't work well. I didn't understand the character. Why was it written that way? You'll get feedback from people that are performers. So you've got that. You've got it polished. You've put in some screenplay contests. You've got some feedback maybe on formatting or how your lines are doing or the way you're writing. So you make those changes if you think they're worth making. Don't make changes because someone tells you you're the writer, you're in control. You make the changes that you think are valuable. You put in some bigger competitions, you go well, you don't go well, it doesn't matter. You put on something like Script Revolution. Putting on a Script Revolution when you've got a good log line and a good little synopsis and you know what it's about so you can put in the right genre, it will begin to get read by other writers. It will also get read by producers. And hopefully you have followed the other videos here or done research wherever you want to do your research and have written a lower budget film, a film that can get made. Because like I've said before, no one sells a $400 million film first time out. So those are your tips. These are your things. These are your takeaways. Make sure the film can be made. Make sure it's possibly made, that someone would be willing to spend the money on an unknown writer like yourself. So it has to be written in a way that makes it attractive to producers. That's your first big hurdle. You've finished that. You've got feedback. You've got it polished. You've put it in some competitions. You've got actors to perform it. You've read it out loud. You've had other people read it out loud. So you know it's good. Now you're going to put it out there on the internet. Register it. Get the copyright. Get your protection in place. Now you're going to put it on the internet. I suggest Script Revolution. I've had success there. CJ Wally, great guy. It's free, but if you're like myself, become a rock star, contribute a little bit, keep the site up and going. That's it for this week. So if you've finished your first script, that's what you should do. Make sure it's good, then get it out to the world. And there's some steps you can take to get it out to the world. As always, comment, subscribe. I know I should do this at the start of the video. Click the bell icon, hit a like if you think it's worth giving us a like. There's a book coming out called Tools Not Rules. When that's released, it's going to be free for the first week or two, and then it's going to go onto Amazon for sale. register, or if you subscribe here, you'll see the release video. Click the subscription so you get the notification. You can download it for free. If you go over to griffithscreative.com.au and hit us up on the Contact Us page, you will also then be notified that it's going to be up for free, and you'll be sent a link. I hope this has helped. I hope you have fun, and as always, keep writing.